let's talk about your Facebook Watch docuseries, JoJo Goes.
Yes.
So, what can you tease about this show, and why is Facebook Watch the perfect place to stream it on?
I mean, listen, I feel like Facebook is kind of the mom of all social media. I feel like it was the first, I mean, besides MySpace, which isn't around anymore, but I feel like Facebook really is the original. And so to have this new show on there is really, really special. Now, JoJo Goes, on the other hand, is it is an adventure that is absolute for sure. It's a lot of fun. I get to do these adventures and these things that I've always wanted to do, but because of who I am and because of my career, something that they're all things that I'm really not able to do anymore. And so this really gave me the chance to experience some of those things that I've always wanted to.
And how are fans going to see a new side of you in the show?
Oh, you see, it's interesting. I told them, I said, I want to make this show real. I don't want there to be scripts. I don't want there to be anything. I want people to just see the behind the curtain. This is what I'm like.
And I mean, you talked about going on really fun adventures. What was your favorite thing that you did? Could you pick just one?
It's so hard to say because going to college was really fun. Becoming a
Oh,
pro volleyball player was really fun. Working at a hospital was really fun. Running a daycare was fun. I mean, literally, they were all so fun. I got to go to summer camp for the first time. That was fun. I mean, if I had to pick one, probably college,
okay. Do
but they were
you
all fun.
do you think that if your life hadn't taken you down this insane path, you would have one day ended up in college, or who knows?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I know from the time that I was really little, I said I either wanted to be a neurosurgeon or a pop star. And so, I mean, listen, if all else fails, I do have my backup plan.
Yeah, you have a backup plan. Was there one thing you tried that you were like, that was harder, or maybe you didn't like as much as you expected?
I mean, I pretty much went into everything like super excited and super open-minded. So I really loved every adventure.
Yeah, and did you learn anything about yourself? I mean, you went to college, you went to camp, you did all these things. Did you learn anything about yourself in the process of this whole show?
I already knew that I was so open-minded with everything and that
Yeah.
like I would have had a ball doing any of these things. I think one thing that I learned about myself is how determined I am.
Mm, okay. I feel like we saw a lot of that in Dancing with the Stars too.
Yes,
You
absolutely.
are determined and driven, that is for
Yeah.
sure. And what is something that you hope your fans take away from watching this?
Ooh, I want them to know that in life, you get to see me do all these challenging things and figure out how to do them. I think in life, you sometimes go, I can't do that. But I have a saying, and if you're not from America, obviously you can't use this saying, but I have a saying called you're an American, not an American. And it really is, if you want to do something, you will figure out a way to do it.
Yeah, I love that. And it's freaking true. And
Mhm.
also, happy Pride Month. It's been
Yes.
about a year since you came out.
Crazy, a little bit over a year. It's wild.
I mean, time flies. I'm curious, what has this past year been like for you, specifically personally, as you're like, you keep evolving, you're still young, you're growing. What has this year been like for you?
No, it's been amazing doing Dancing with the Stars and having the first female same-sex partnership. That like was a big step for me. I got to go to We Hope Pride. That was really fun. Even going on tour was interesting for me because I didn't expect to become as comfortable with my sexuality as I did on tour. And I didn't even realize that I wasn't there yet. But then on
Mhm.
tour I got there and it was really a nice feeling.
Oh, I love that. And I mean, you have been, since you came out, you've been such a strong voice for the LGBTQ plus community.
Thank you.
I'm curious, like, how does it feel for you to have fans or people come up to you and just tell you how much you inspire them or how your story has motivated them to possibly come out?
It's funny because I went to a bunch of car dealerships the other day, and this
Oh,
girl who worked at Porsche, she came running out and she goes, "I'm the only lesbian that works here. I love you." And I was like, that's such an odd thing to say, but I'm so here for it. Like it's really cool, I got to watch my best friend come out this year, and that was a really cool experience to like see it from the behind the scenes and see what he thought and what he went through. Um, it's really cool. I'm in a really good position.
So you were recently also at the Dodger game with your girlfriend Kylie. How you guys look so freaking cute and like in love in all of your pictures. It like warms my heart. But
Thank
how
you.
are you two doing?
We are good. We are really good. She's great. She's home right now, so she's not out here. Yeah, I am also in a good place with this. I think she's starting to feel it too. I'm getting out of like new relationship honeymoon phase, which is a good thing, but it's a funny transition to like be like realizing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And how are you guys making the long distance work? I mean, it must be. I know it's hard. I've done long distance before.
No, it definitely is. It's tricky. But the thing for us is like at the end of the day, like we know we have each other. We know if we need each other. We have a rule. If I call you, not a FaceTime, that means like I need you answer. And that's kind of an unsaid rule, but it is a rule.
Yeah.
That we both just, respect and we trust. And that's the thing with long distance, you have to have trust.
And I mean, you guys broke up previously, got back together. What is different about your relationship now than it was before?
Oh my gosh, so many things in the best ways possible. Um, I think in our previous relationship, it was my first real relationship. You know what I mean? It was my first
Mhm.
time being in love. I mean, I did have a boyfriend back in the day. Those are the days. I just saw a picture of him the other day. I was like, oh, that was fun while that lasted. Being straight. Um, but I think now, I've had some life experience. I've been around the block a little bit, and I realized that like I think one of the biggest differences is that we like have our little bickerments now, which are like actually really fun. You know what I mean? Because before we would just like never fight and like never have conflict or anything, and like you have to.
Hmm. Yeah, bickering is like important, healthy bickering, not
Hell,
toxic
bicker.
bickering. So, I mean, when you first announced you were dating back then, you mentioned something along the lines of that you wanted to wait until she felt comfortable with the spotlight and the microscope that your relationship would be put on because you are in the spotlight and because of your platform. How do you think she has adjusted to all of that so far?
It's funny. She was like, I just found out the other day. She said she was at work and she's like, somebody came up to me, and I guess it's a big deal that I'm dating you. And I was like, yes, yes, it is. And she was like, yeah, I mean, I get it. Yeah, it just caught me by surprise. She's just so chill. She always says the internet's my gig, and whatever I want to tell them, I can tell them. But I also, do it out of respect to her and to her family because I don't want to do anything
Mhm.
or share anything that they don't want out there.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, you have been in your life, basically your whole life since Dance Moms, your life has kind of been in the public eye to a degree, not as much as when you were younger, maybe as in your teens or tweens, but how, what has been the hardest part of fame and what has been maybe the best part or something that you're really grateful for?
I mean, it's interesting because the best part and the worst part are pretty much the same. I get to do everything, but I can't do anything at the same time. It's getting to inspire so many people, but having so many people hate you. They both everything comes with the backup right by it, but it's a life that I would never trade.
Yeah. And you kind of touched on, people do, there's some haters, people criticize you. Recently, you have been standing up for yourself a lot online lately because people who probably don't understand how long your dance career has been, like literally basically your whole life, they're
Yep.
criticizing you for not having enough experience to be a judge on So You Think You Can Dance. What do you have to say to these haters and how are you navigating those comments? Because I can only imagine it hurts.
I mean, the dancer ones just make me mad because I did dance for so long. And when I was on Stars, they said I couldn't be on Stars because I was a professional dancer. And now I'm on this show, and I would not consider myself a professional dancer at all. I don't work as a dancer professionally. However, I'm mad educated in the dance world, and I know my stuff, and I have choreographed a lot, and I have been in a lot, and I have employed a lot of dancers. I've directed a lot of dancing. I've done a lot with it. But yeah, at the end of the day, not everybody's going to be happy, and that's just something that you have to come to terms with.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you know that you earned it. And there's like a long resume to show.
Yep. Yep.
And okay, lastly, switching gears a little bit, your hair, I love it. I loved when you chopped it off and you showed it all on Instagram, like the whole process. How
Yes.
much fun are you having playing up the short hair? And is it sticking around for a while or are you going to grow it back soon?
A little bit of both. I want it to be a hair longer than it is right now, so I'm letting it grow just a little bit, but then I think I'm gonna be pretty happy with the length that it's at. The chop was exciting. It really was. It just was like, all right, we're doing this. It's really happening.
Was it a spur of the moment decision or did you plan it out before?
I mean, I've wanted to do it for like 7 years, but then I really just, as soon as everybody in my life said yes, I literally did it the next day.
Oh, you had to ask people or like just like make sure? No, you're just telling them.
I mean, yes, because at the end of the day, like I am a public figure. And so, I have to make sure with my team, with my family, just with everybody, just, go through it and just be like, hey,